I'm trying to set this up. I had just did my hair, so that's why I'm looking like this. My story time is the time I found out I was pregnant with my first daughter. Okay, so I'm not gonna say nobody's names because I don't want to get in trouble from saying nobody's names. So I have been knowing this guy since I was about, I'ma say 12, 13. He was younger than me. He was about 11, right? And we never had sexual intercourse ever until we got up to age. But he did give me oral, and my mama beat my ass for that. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to curse. She beat my ass for that. So we had got into a serious relationship. We were staying in the same subdivision in Houston. We were staying in the same subdivision. At this time, I was still a virgin. And I had told him, I'm like, once I lose my virginity to somebody older, then I'll come back and sleep with you. But my mama didn't know anything about it, y'all. She didn't know anything about it. She wasn't that kind of mama. But fast forward, we had ended up moving out the subdivision, and they were still there. My brother always stayed in contact with them because he had a twin, so they was always like this. So my brother always stayed in contact, which made me be in contact with him. My brother didn't know that, you know, he just knew we liked each other and called ourselves going with each other. But we was young. I was like, after we moved out the subdivision, I was about 15 going on 16 years old. So my mom moved like across the way, like we moved like, I'm gonna say like 13 minutes away from them or whatever. So it was still easy to see them or whatever. And at the time, fast forward, I had turned 16. And I didn't know that I was going to ever see him again. So he had ended up coming over there with my brother or whatever, to our new house with my brother. So we got reconnected. And this was our first time ever having sexual intercourse. We was in my room. My mama was gone to the club. She didn't really know. My mama was always gone. Like, she was gone a lot. So, but she trusted us. She trusted us because we wasn't bad kids. So, but long story short, we had ended up having sex. So we was, at that time, we was in a committed relationship, I'ma say. We kept having sex. I didn't get pregnant, luckily. So fast forward, his mom always, whenever he would get in trouble or do something, his mom would always call me and was like, come get, I'm trying to give him a name. Come get Cameron. I'm not going to say his real name. Come get Cameron. He doing X, Y, and Z and da-da-da-da. So she always called me to calm him down. So her and her mom was going to the casino in Louisiana. So she trusted me and my older brother to go over there and watch them, be over there with him and his siblings. It was like 4 or 5 of them. We was all around the same age, so we had ended up going over there. So I had just got off my cycle, being fast, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. I'm scared. Your mama probably come back. So we end up having sex. And when we had sex, I was like, okay, everything okay. He had ended up, nothing or whatever. So fast forward, I'ma say about 3 weeks later, right? 3 weeks later, I wasn't feeling good. I was bleeding, but it wasn't bleeding. I was throwing up. So I was at my cousin's house, my girl cousin house, who stayed right around the corner from his mama. We was in the same apartment, so I was always at her house to see him and spend time with him. He have a twin. So my cousin that I call twin, she was like, you need to take a pregnancy test. And I'm like, no, I'm not taking no pregnancy test because I know I'm not pregnant. So I am not taking no pregnancy test. And she was like, no, you really need to take a pregnancy test because something can be wrong. So I'm like, okay. So he went and got like 6 different pregnancy tests. So I'm in my cousin's house and I ended up taking them, but I didn't want to look at them because I knew I had a feeling that I was pregnant. At the time I was 18, but I was still scared. I wasn't finished with school or nothing. So at the age of 18, I had just turned 18, but I was still scared to tell my mom. So 3 of the pregnancy tests was positive. I immediately started crying my heart out. I'm like, what am I going to tell my mom? Because she trusted me and I let her down. And when I told my twin, I call her twin, but she's not really my twin. I was like, don't call my mama, she gonna go crazy. And I was telling my kids, like, don't call her. Because I was literally gonna wait till I was like 7 months pregnant to tell. But they ended up calling her. And I heard her on speakerphone. She was on speakerphone. She was going crazy. She was like, I'ma beat your mother effing ex. You gotta come get your stuff and get out of my house. So I was crying. I'm like, what am I gonna go? What am I gonna do? Like, Mama, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disappoint you. She was like, you're not even finished with your school. How you gonna do this, Ashley? How you gonna do this? So I was like, I can't have an abortion. So I was like, I'm gonna have an abortion. But something in me wouldn't let me have an abortion. It wouldn't let me have an abortion. So I was like, I asked him, I'm like, what are we gonna do? He was like, I'm gonna take care of my kids, right? So I had ended up bleeding that night. I was still bleeding. Come to find out, I had a bad UTI that was causing me to have a miscarriage. So his grandma, we all got in the car. We went to the hospital, and when I got to the hospital, I was bleeding. I would bleed when I pee, but I wasn't bleeding like terribly bad. I was just bleeding whenever I would pee. So I'm like, okay, this is serious. I need to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital. And they checked me, and they was like, we can't find no baby, da 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 da. So they took this little small tube camera thing, and they stuck it in me. And I was like, that hurt. And he started going crazy. He was like, you're hurting her. And I was like, that hurt. But she was like, we have to do it to see, if you miscarriage or is the baby, is the sac still there with the embryo. So as sure as shit stunk, it was still there. I was 3 weeks and like 4 days pregnant. So that's why they couldn't tell on the ultrasound, because I was still like not that far. So I called my mom crying. I'm like, Mama, I'm really pregnant. Can I come home? I want to come home. It makes me emotional just to think about it because she was like, you let me down. I expected so much more from you. I had ended up dropping out of school because when I first got pregnant, I was really sick. Go get my charger for my mom because it's going to go dead. I don't own the copyrights to this song, so please don't copyright my video. I was really disappointed in myself because I was like, I was in the 11th grade, but I thought I didn't have the credits that I needed. Come to find out, all I needed was 2 credits to graduate. So that really disappointed my mom, and she was like, you disappointed me, and I was crying. She was like, you know what, I'm gonna be here for you. You my child, you can come home. Okay. She was like, you my child, you can come home. And there was music to my ears, and when I got home, I just saw her face. It just like, y'all, it's making me emotional because she had this look on her face like, how could you? My whole family was mad at me. They was like, how could you, Ashley? We expected so much from you. We expected so much from you. And then when it was fast forward, well, not fast forward, I was really, really, really sick. Like, I could not eat. I could not sleep. She would not let me eat anything. She wouldn't let me eat anything. The baby wouldn't let me eat anything. I was very sick, and I couldn't keep down anything. So I went to the doctor. He gave me medicine for me to try to keep fluid stuff on my stomach and stuff like that. Fast forward, I had to have, when it came time to have her, I had to have emergency C-section because my blood pressure was up and her heart rate was dropping. So the doctors, when it came down to it, it was him, it was my mom, and it was my sister, and it was his mom and his grandma. They all came up there. It was so much drama, y'all, like between him and my mama. It was so much drama. She was like, you're not going to be in here while my daughter had it. It was so much drama, so to the where security had to come in there and was like, yeah, somebody got to go. Either your mama or him, y'all got to go. But I was so confused. I didn't want neither one of them to go. So he was like, so you going to let your mama do this? And then my mom was like, you going to choose him over me? So I was like crying, emotional. So the doctors was like, I can't let y'all stress her out. So long story short, he ended up leaving and my mom stayed. So when it was time for me to have the baby, everybody just came rushing in the room. I didn't even know. They saw on the monitor in the little area where they come and check, the little nursing area, that I was in the midst of having a stroke. I didn't even feel it. I didn't know it. I didn't feel it. My blood pressure was up so high to where I couldn't feel it. So I'm like, why is everybody rushing in here? What's going on? What's going on? So I'm trying to stop from crying to keep strong for my mom. My mom trying to stop crying to keep strong for me. And she was like, you got this. You got this. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. And I kept crying. I was like, where's my mom? Where's my mom? So they prepped me for my C-section. And my mom had called him on the phone and was like, hey, Ashley's getting ready to have the baby. He was hollering and screaming, and I was arguing back and forth with him. The nurse was like, shut up. You can't talk. Like, you need to be quiet because any little thing, you are at risk of death at this point. So I was really, really, really scared. So my mom ended up, they took me to the operation room to prep me for the C-section, but my mom couldn't go back there with me. My mom couldn't go back there with me. And I was scared. I just kept crying like, where's my mom? Where's my mom? Where's my mom? Girl, I mean, it was just, I was so scared, y'all. Like, if y'all can wait to have a baby, wait. Don't think you got it all together because you don't. You have no idea. They prepped me for that C-section and they took that long needle and shot it in my spine, and I felt like it was over. I went numb completely and just fell back. And it took after they did that, they let my mom come in the room. And I was crying and she was holding my hand. I was like, Mama, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And she was like, you okay? I got you. Prior to that, I was in a hospital for 2 months. Prior to me having my baby, I was in a hospital for 2 months due to my high blood pressure. It was around the same time that my granny was in a hospital. So we both was in a hospital. I was in a hospital for like 2 months before I had my baby. So I skipped that part. Yeah, I was in a hospital already. So everybody came up there to see me. Everybody had to leave because of the chaos between my mom and my baby dad. So everybody had to leave. So it was nobody but me and my mom. At night, I used to cry. I'm like, why am I going through this? Is God punishing me? Why am I going through this? And then my mama say when I would get sleep, she would cry. So it was like, it was terrible. I don't regret my baby. I love her to death. I love all my kids to death. I have 3. I love all of them to death. But it's scary. If you can prevent yourself, prevent yourself. Because now I'm a single mother. I have no help but my mom help. You know, he's not around. He don't help. And, you know, for the first baby, he did show up and show out for the baby shower and all that. But that's another story. That's for another time. But after I had her, it was like, everything was just like natural. It was like that was my heart. Like, that was my baby, and I just loved her. She didn't have no hair, y'all. She was bald head, and she was pale. She was like white. I was like, is this my baby? Is this my baby? But she came out and she was looking me straight in my eyes, and I was like, I fell in love with her immediately. So after like 5 days, we was actually, when they got my blood pressure, because after I had my baby, my blood pressure still was going up. So after they finally got my blood pressure under control, 5 days later, they let us go home. And my mama, she stepped up and she showed out. I thought she wasn't going to be there for me because I had disappointed her. But she really did. I know I disappointed my dad. Rest in peace to my dad. Love my dad to death. I know I disappointed in him. I know I disappointed him because he called me crying and was like, I know my baby not having a baby. I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm having a baby. If you can, long story short, if you can prevent it. Because I could have been done with school and went to college. But yet, I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And that's not the way to go. If you can prevent it, prevent it. That's all I can say. I love my kids to death. But I disappointed my mama. I'm glad she sees the kind of mother I am right now. But I disappointed her. I'm gonna come back with a part 2 on how I found out I was pregnant with my second baby. So stay in tune with me, and I will be doing a part 2 of how I found out I was pregnant with my second baby. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel, share, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I want to build my audience, so please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.